comes on your side too, so you can see when we can start, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Looks like it's ready.
Good. All right, folks. Well, hello again, and welcome back. We are here today with an episode of Teens Talk Television with our guest, Miss Pamela Little, here to talk about health and wellness, self-care, and mental health. Pamela, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, well, first I'd like to say thank you, Tony Smith and Salang Muller, for inviting me. And I hope that today has been a great day for the both of you. It is a beautiful day. And thank you for inviting me out. My name is Pam Little. I am a licensed mental health therapist. I have been practicing for over 15 years in the community. I am a licensed art therapist as well as a play therapist. So I work with the entire family, and I enjoy what I do. I'm licensed in Maryland and Virginia.
Interesting. Good to know. What factors contribute to one's mental well-being?
First and foremost, for me, I believe it would be the environment that would play heavily into one's mental health well-being, because that's what we call our primary environment. When you're talking natural environments for children, adolescents, or adults, just for human beings, for us, it would be our natural environment. So where the person spends most of their time, and those hidden variables are what contribute to to your mental health.
What methods do you use to pick yourself up when sad or bored, or what is the most common method?
Well, I've learned, for me, it would the most common for me is how to relax and being present with what kind of symptoms I'm experiencing. So, for example, if I'm sad or I feel a little lower than I normally would, I would just try to identify exactly what may have changed in my environment, whether it's like this COVID-19. We're not able to go out in the same manner that we, normally would. So I just realized the challenges with that, or and how I can focus, not so much as not going out, but what I can do. And I would do art. I do a lot of creating, and I know how to maneuver different areas. I use the art because it helps to reconcile my mental and emotional well-being. So for me, I use art and mindfulness.
It's funny you mentioned COVID-19. I was going to ask how it has affected your daily practices in any way.
It just increased tremendously with clients. It has impacted me more so in just doing the 101 over now, the Zoom, and I use a HIPAA compliant medical system called DoxyMe. So, those, it took a little bit of adjustment for some of my clients to, work through this technology. But other than that, just more so not being able to go out into the community and work with my clients, because for myself, I've integrated the nature in some of my clients, and it's been a great way of moving them forward, and another way of giving them some strategies to go into the nature and find more natural ways of healing, more ways to reset their perspective around the things that they're challenged with.
It's very interesting. The different ways that are just out there for people to kind of manage and handle their stress in different ways, like meditating, and there's scream therapy. I don't know if you use that or have tried it or even believe in it, but what are your thoughts on those?
Well, say it again. The
Scream therapy. Do you use that with your clients, or have you heard of it?
I've never heard of that, and spell that for me. Maybe I'm not hearing you as well.
Scream is SCREAM
Oh,
therapy.
no. Yes, I've heard that, where they say you just kind of scream and get.
Yeah.
Well, I believe this because I'm very universal and very open in my process. I don't believe that one size fits all, especially
Mhm.
in the population that I work with. I work with, like I say, from small children at one point doing the play therapy to all the way up into my oldest client, and as long as I've been practicing, was in her 60s. And so I find out what works for the client and I take it from there. And then those who have said, I'm stuck with, working with some of the same old techniques and things, I will integrate and give them other tools to use. And more recent would be some of the art and some of the mindfulness and how you can put the two together. I'm not against Scream if that works for the client. By all means, get it out. I just like to see, what's the intentions, what happens after that.
Interesting, interesting. With all the negative news currently out there, how can people still be involved but keep their distance and manage their mental health?
By following the policies. As hard as it is, or with all the conspiracy theories going around, this is very real. And I would encourage everyone to obey, listen and obey what the policies are set by our government. If Governor Hogan says wear masks, if you live in Prince George's County, Montgomery County, whatever the county executives are putting out, I would recommend that everyone follow that. And if they're not using their mask out in public, would recommend that they use that for added safety. And that is one of the things that puts a lot of people uncomfortable and bring anxiety on top of this current state of our world. So I would encourage people to follow the policies and stay safe.
How could we motivate our youth at this hard time, especially those transitioning from high school to college without getting their fair send off?
um I'm sorry, say the last part.
I'll just say the whole thing. How can we motivate our youth at this hard time, especially those transitioning from high school to college without getting a fair send off?
Oh, okay, a fair send off. Well, I'm hearing a lot of things, and I've even participated with some family and friends on this. It's doing the drive by, you know, doing some Zoom, interactive Zoom calls, as well as the drive-bys. I think that's been very helpful because we are able now, I think we're in phase two where you can go out. So I think that is very, very helpful and exciting. People, dressing up their cars and doing balloons and things like that. And that the youth would understand that this is just a temporary process. They're going to get what they want to do, and in the time and in the manner that it's supposed to do. So don't lose hope, to always direct their negative energy to something positive, because there's always something on the other side of this right here, and most things in life that we encounter. Okay, they may not see that, but just go with it, stay safe, and continue to move forward in their transition from high school to college.
I love how honest you are with your answers, and that it is a little hard. I know that some people being in the house this long is like them losing their minds and just don't know what to do with themselves. They're so bored and just so out of it. At what point should one consider getting professional help from a therapist or doctor?
um I'll say this, when you mentioned how the young adults, they're so not used to being in the house, and like you said, going out of their minds. That would be my first recommendation, is to change that thought that came out of your mouth. I'm losing my mind. Then you
Okay.
lose your mind. Okay, what you speak is what you get. Okay, so it's not that they're losing their mind. It's not, and they are bored. And yes, because they're not used to sitting with themselves to even stop and see where they're going. Not all of them, but we all are challenged with the change that has taken place. But what I would encourage them to do is to sit down and do like a little art, brainstorm, be more creative, really sit to see what's really inside of them. So, when they leave where they're going home, trying to get into the university transition, is see how you can go and be proactive in bringing different activities, in their environment, whilst trying to stay safe. And one of them is while you inside, start doing little things. Like I recommend like this little art. This is just a um, little circle I cut out like a size of circle, and I put a couple of them inside some construction paper. And so when I wake up, I always make myself intentional. So what I would recommend is like on a circle like this. They can do it on a sticky paper or any kind of paper, and make a small circle and put what they're feeling inside the circle at that moment, right? And then go do something they love, and then come back and do it again later to see how they're feeling. You see, you may start one way and end another, and then just little things like that. And you can doodle and create, you know, little doodle scribbles, and then fill them in with different colors, like your highlighters or crayons or colored pencils, just to get creative, to kind of get energy, that pent up energy out. And then you will be able to keep your prefrontal cortex online for planning and organization, to making decisions. Because once you get stressed out and overwhelmed, that's what starts to happen. So it's in the mind, but keep the mind moving, staying active as much as you can, and then see how you can do that. And I would encourage, when you start feeling yourself getting, it's almost like really noticing that you're not yourself. Say, for example, you find yourself sleeping way too much. You find yourself a little bit more irritated, a little bit more agitated. You're not eating properly. And you find that your thoughts are way out of what, you know, you normally would think. I would then encourage, you know, someone to reach out to their parents and say, Mom, Dad, you know, whoever the caregiver is that I'm just noticing a lot of difference in this. I'm a little overwhelmed, or, you know, around what they're thinking and how they're feeling, so that it's not, you know, um, built up, and then it's later, it becomes more of a situation, you know, that has taken, you know, a long toll.
Okay, great. You answered like the next three questions, so that just made it a lot easier for
Well,
me. I actually don't have anything else specific to add. Miss Tony, do you have anything that you would want to ask or bring up at this time?
So I do have a question, but I think you've covered it for the most part. My question is,
ask. I want Celine to ask hers too. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
okay, yeah, Solange can, yeah.
You got all of mine, actually.
So my question, you want to go ahead, Pamela?
No, I was going to say, see, with mental health, it's different from everyone. And prayerfully that the families, the parents, or the caregivers of the high schoolers, or the young adults, is noticing that as well. You follow me? If in their children, is that there is a little bit different, because sometimes it can creep up on someone a little bit faster
Mhm.
than it does the next person. So
Right.
that's why I encourage, you know, not to wait till you way overwhelmed, because this has taken a toll on a lot of people, and they don't realize that, oh yeah, this is what this is, you see. And then before you know it, it spills into a lot of different areas of their life, so the sooner the better, the sooner the better. And don't be afraid to do that, because it's nothing wrong with getting someone along the side of you to help you sort out the things that you used to be able to do.
And so my question fits into that as well, which is like, what are your top three recommendations for families during this time to stay present? How can they stay in the present?
Right. One of the things I use with my clients and myself every day is I use the word safety. Okay. The S is for sleep. We are so sleep deprived in this country. We need a minimum of 8 hours. Even though a lot of us say I only get 6 or 4, that's where all the problems are festering in our body. Okay. We need sleep 8 hours a day. Okay. And A for your activity. Okay. You need some type of movement every day, whether it's walking around your house, up and down the steps, going out in your yard, walking in the community with your mask on, with drinking your water, hydrating yourself, less on the sugar things, because that brings more problems. We need to hydrate ourselves with natural waters. And then the F, which is for food. Watching the foods. At this time, we don't need high fat, high carbohydrate kind of foods. We need more healthy, more less processed foods. Okay. And the E is for evaluate. You evaluate your sleep, your activity, and your food to see if you're feeling safe, okay? Or if you're feeling better, okay? And if not, the T is for try again, okay? And then the Y is until you yield some changes. So your sleep, your activity, and your food to keep you safe, you evaluate that. And then if until you get changed, until you yield the change. And that is where your emotional and your mental well-being is back at its normal level, where you're thinking and feeling great.
Oh, that is perfect. That's perfect.
Mhm.
So are there any tools, any physical tools? I know you gave us the example. Are there any other tools you recommend or use with clients?
I
Or
Tony, and you know me from a time I use a rain stick, and I brought
right.
one here today just for that. And I use the rain stick because it's a lot. What I'm noticing with a lot of clients I'm getting, even the adults, and some of the children that I'm working with, their mind, they can't cut the racing thoughts down, and it's hard. I have to admit, it's hard to just sit, and not think about this. So what I would recommend for those is to listen to on the YouTube the sound of rain. I know people use different things, but the rain is so relaxing, so calm, so natural. And all you do is listen to the rain, and your thoughts and things will just kind of go and just go. And you don't have to grab them and try to think about it. Just relax and do that at least 8 minutes a day, 5 days a week, at least. You can do more. So you might listen to it 2 minutes in the morning to set your intentions for the day, throughout the day, and then again at night, so that you can get sweet sleep, so that you may rest. And I recommend that at least a couple of hours before you go to bed. See, the other thing is a lot of us don't know that an hour and a half after the sun goes down, we're supposed to be in the bed sleep, because your body knows, is physically, I guess that's what I'm saying, physiologically know that it shuts down. So that's why you sleep during the dark, the nighttime, and then you get back up in the morning and you're refreshed. You're ready to do all you can do in the daylight. You see what I'm saying? So one of the tools that I use with my clients is a rain stick. It looks really long. This is a long one because most people are a little taller. And all I do is I use it in my session so that they can append it and just listen to the rain. And we go back and forth with it, but that's just a little bit around how that sounds. You can close your eye. You can do some guided meditations. I recommend doing that. And with some of my families, the parents use it with the kids at night. They use it throughout the day, that they all can be on the same page in terms of helping each other to relax and stay calm and able to redirect their perspective on what's happening. And
Perfect.
again, it's doing art. I'm going to be doing some on Saturdays of mornings, like an hour of Zoom calls for parents if they want to send the kids and sign up. And all I'm doing is giving art techniques, just different mindfulness ways to help restructure and their thoughts and things
Mhm.
around what's happening to reduce that anxiety. And the tips that I give are on the spot. So like if you're feeling anxious, I literally would take my MAC lipstick and make a little heart on my arm and color it in for the calmness, for the tactile way of doing it. Now, somebody else may not do that, but that works for me. I
Right.
always find little artistic, creative ways to soothe myself, because I know that inside I'm just, getting a little anxious because of what's going on, and I don't understand, but it calms me enough so that I can be able to organize my thoughts to see what's in front of me, what's going on, how to handle the issue or the concern.
Right. So that fits into, I think, with Solange, one of her questions or her last questions in terms of your Saturday class, and I'll turn it back over to her to finish.
My last request is that you share just a few ways to connect with you and keep in touch with what you have going on, and maybe how the viewers can get access to your Saturday Zoom classes about art and just managing mental health in other ways.
And
Absolutely.
we're also going to post this, so after we'll
Okay.
have it posted as well.
They can go to my website at www.sensory, SENSORY, SENRSE3.com. Did I say it right? SENSRE, the number 3.com. That's my website. And Tony, I will leave with you my email so that you could when I post the Zoom on Eventbrite, you can send them, and send out to your list, and they can definitely sign up. I will probably be doing one after the 6th, whatever the next weekend after the 6th of July. But I'll give you a couple of weeks notice, okay? And if you have family or parents, the young adults, they want it sooner, I might be able to do it like a one day in the evening, okay? Because I'm really booked during the daytime, so I would be more than welcome to do it like a Thursday or Wednesday evening, 6:30, 7 o'clock, so that people can have it for the next day, okay? I'd love to do that for the young adults because it is a trying time because they've never seen this before. Okay. And they're hearing a lot of, different things that they're not used to. And then also to help them on how to stay safe when they go off, if some of them are going to go off to college. Some schools are going to open and some are not. So, just really how to, manage their mental health when they're away. And the tips that I give them, you can use, wherever. Okay.
Yeah, that will be perfect. So Solange?
That is literally all I have. You covered a lot, and thank you for sharing all your helpful information with us today.
All right. And I hope to see you on one of the Zooms. Okay. And I run it for an hour. And if I get a request that they want it a little longer, I can go for an hour and a half to make certain that everyone can get, an understanding of the simple techniques that I give. Very, very simple. And I'm local. So if they want to meet and, get a rain stick, I can definitely do that as well. That's one of the most helpful tools for all of my clients. I use it as part of the treatment plan, and it's been found to be an excellent source for transition and how to really get focused and mindful, and using it too, because it's tactile, and that's what a lot of people want. They want something they can touch, something right there in their face, and that they control and that they can use it. Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to include a list of resources on the website that's connected to self-care. And then, of course, when we know what your shows are, we can post them. But then, even so, maybe we can connect and reach out to a group of young people,
Right.
and set up a partnership.
Right. Exactly.
For everyone. That would actually be really nice to do.
And one of the main techniques that I'm using right now while we can go out and we're in phase 2 is going to the park. And I go down to Watkins Park a lot and show the young adults how to become mindful, how to stay focused, and where they'll start to notice the things that they've never seen before. And that's one of the beauties of our nature. Okay. Something very simple, very, very simple.
Right. It's great.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.